Episode 486. The shores of Thousand Wave Lake were mostly populated by amphibious reptiles as leveling mobs. Right now, Thousand City was hunting these minor creatures. Chun Yilao's group had arrived with 5 people in total, making it a standard small dungeon team. They were crouched in the small grove by the lake. After Thunderclap Flash's shout, they didn't rush to show themselves.
Let's observe the situation first.
As Springold spoke, the 5 of them lined up in a row and crouched down together at the forest's edge. As Blue River shifted his view, he spotted a few more figures popping up in the grass to his left. So he shifted his weight slightly, peering in that direction, and spotted the character IDs floating above the grass. Blue River recognized them as elite members of Herb Garden.
Herb Hall is over there.
Blue River said to Spring Warmth Old and the others.
The major guilds are pretty much all here.
This place is so small, hard to see how they could set up anything major here.
Zizhou whispered from within the group.
Could it be in the water?
Thunderclap Lightning guessed.
You can't hide underwater that long.
In Glory, every character is born knowing how to swim and dive, but when you dive, you'll need oxygen. If you stubbornly stay underwater and refuse to surface, you'll just end up drowning yourself. The length of time you can hold out is determined by your character's stamina, but no matter how high it is, there's no way to have enough stamina to just squat on the bottom forever. So, whether there was an ambush in the water was easy to spot. The surface of Thousand Wave Lake was rippling, but there was no sign of anyone surfacing anywhere.
Well,
Spring Venerable One, a rare occurrence, spoke up in the channel. This was the team channel they'd formed back at level 1. The squads were basically organized by guild, with each one contributing about 5 players, all top-tier experts ranked within the top 100 in the 10th server. As for guilds that didn't have such elite players, they had absolutely no interest in interfering with the Happy Guild's dungeon record attempt at this time.
Nothing on our end.
The Herb Hall people were the first to respond.
Nothing.
Next up was Tyrannical Ambition.
Same here.
+1. +2.
The several guilds that had arrived as a group now held their positions, surrounding Thousand Cities within this small area. They all looked around, left and right, but couldn't spot a single clue.
Could it be that Happy doesn't have any plan at all?
if you ask me, even if Happy had a plan, they'd be at a disadvantage in this location. What level are their guild members anyway? Forget about PKing here, just getting past the regular mobs will be a headache for them.
Spring Herb's point was obviously spot on. The monsters in Thousand Wave Lake ranged from level 40 to 43, yet the majority of the Happy Guild's players were only around level 30. Even with the few higher-level recruits they'd just added today, the best they had were only at level 36 or 37. Aren't the people truly suited for leveling here precisely those top-ranked players on the leaderboard? And for any other player in the entire 10th server, coming here would be considered over-leveling.
Seems I was overthinking it.
Tianan Singh of Herb Garden delivered his verdict.
Damn it.
Zhang Yu cursed under his breath, filled with regret. If he'd known the enemy was so completely unprepared, why had they made such a huge, dramatic show of force? Sure, Thousand Cities is a top-tier player in the game, but we're not exactly slouches ourselves. A small squad would have been more than enough to handle this. Was there really any need to bring in dozens of people all at once?
Hold on.
Spring Chill abruptly uttered 2 words.
Let's wait and see a bit longer. Maybe we moved too fast, and Happy's people haven't had time to set up their ambush yet. We'll give it a little more time. Maybe it was their people who walked right into our ambush on the way over.
Over on Blue Brook's side, Shi Zhou had explained old Chun Yi's reasoning in detail in the message. Hearing it, everyone thought it made sense. This time, they really weren't afraid of Happy setting an ambush. What they were afraid of was Happy not setting one. Seeing the scene remain so quiet, they felt a twinge of disappointment. If they waited a little longer and a real show started, then this trip wouldn't have been a waste. So the people lying in wait settled back into silence. Observing Thousand City Fortress was no longer the main focus. The real priority was to watch for any movement in the surrounding area. More importantly, they relayed the order to the entire guild, instructing players in every leveling zone to keep an eye out for any activity from the Happy Guild. And if you spot any of Happy Guild's elite characters, like Lord Grim, Windward Formation, or Soft Mist, report it immediately. The various guilds waited a full half hour, but not a single message came in from any quarter.
Well, that should be it.
Tian Nanxing said.
After all, it's Yachu we're talking about. If he sensed something was off, his reaction wouldn't be this slow, would it?
Even though everyone in Tyrannical Ambition was thoroughly annoyed by their great rival Ye Chu, Zhang Yu said, they couldn't help but respect his skill. Even Springold, who had initially advocated for waiting, now had to agree with this assessment. Only Blue River felt a jolt of alarm. He alone knew very clearly that Ye Yu had predicted this situation, but why did it seem like he was completely unprepared? Blue River couldn't figure it out. In his view, if they didn't have a good countermeasure, they could always have Thousand City log off to lay low. Logging off was an absolutely invincible trump card. But now, nothing was going as he'd imagined. He had given Springing Willow a heads up earlier, but Springing Willow had clearly taken Blue River's warning as just another piece of speculation, like everyone else's. He didn't realize that Blue River's tip was based on solid, accurate intel. Blue River was once again at a loss for whether to speak up. To explain clearly would be to expose his own two-faced behavior, and he was genuinely a bit embarrassed. But this time, Blue River wasn't given a moment to agonize. Zhang Yu from Tyrannical Ambition had long since grown impatient. Seeing that no one had any new suggestions, Zhang Yu immediately said,
Then what are we waiting for? Let's do this. We've already wasted enough time on this kid. Tell the respawn point to get ready.
The message was released, and the guild teams began to move. If Thousand Cities is the only opponent, then there's really no need to take him seriously. We can take him down however we like.